Well, it's been a while since the South Australian election was finished, but the results have still been flying in over the past few days, and we finally got a pretty good count, a final count on the House of Assembly and the Legislative Council. One seat is in doubt, but it is most likely going to fall to the Labor Party. But I will read out the full recap of the 2026 South Australian election results, and it is some of the most interesting results I have ever seen in my 6 months of doing political coverage on this podcast. I know it's not a very long time, but we've had a few results since then. And this is the most crazy outcome and layout of a House of Assembly or lower house that I've ever seen, and upper house as well. In the lower house of Assembly, in the South Australian Parliament, over the next 4 years, here's what it's going to look like. Labor on 34 seats, up 7. One Nation on 4 seats, up 4. The Liberal Party in the official opposition status on 5 seats, down 11. The Greens on 0. Independents on 4. One Nation with the biggest swing towards it in this election. So that's what it's going to look like. Now, it's very likely during the next 4 years that someone will leave the Liberal Party or someone will leave One Nation and something could switch in opposition. So keep an eye on that. But looking over to the upper house, the Legislative Council in South Australia, I'm going to do this based on this one seat that is most likely going to fall to the Labor Party. So it will look like Labor in the government on 10, just one shy of a majority in the Legislative Council. The opposition on 6, the Liberal Party on 6. The crossbench on 6, with the One Nation on 3, the Greens on 2, and Fair Go on 1. But I'll read out the results from the South Australian election this year. Labor did not change at all. They're on 9, they stayed on 9, but it's most likely they'll win that 10th one. So up 1 basically. One Nation up 2 from 1 last time. And the Liberal Party losing 2, those 2 falling to One Nation. And the Greens on 2, legalised cannabis on 0, family first on 0. Well, look, I think that is some crazy results there. Very, very interesting. SA Best -2 as well. I just wanted to point that out. And Fair Go up 1. And look, the informal votes, nothing too different there. But look, this is all very, very interesting to cover. Now, looking to the Victorian election in 2026, later on this year in November, that will be a very, very interesting turnout because preferences have yet to be announced. And as we get closer to it, I think we'll see some more floods over to One Nation. And looking over to the Farrer by-election as well, and the Nepean by-election, that'll be a really good tell of some results. That'll be like a little early poll. But look, Farrer, I think that will most likely be Michelle Millthorpe or David Farley at One Nation. Michelle Millthorpe being the Climate 200 backed independent, and Bob Katter actually endorsed her, so that's quite interesting. But you can check out these final numbers that I've uploaded on the Biz Politics Instagram page, Biz_politics on Instagram, and you can check us out on YouTube at The Lockdown Biz. And look, I'm so excited for the future of politics. I've got some more federal polls that I'll quickly read out before I sign off for my long weekend. But yeah, look, the polls for federally, they're pretty much the same. Look, to be honest, there's not too much changing there. So looking at the federal polls, and thank you so much to all the people at Wikipedia, all the Wikipedia mods who do update this page. I love reading it every now and then. But the most recent poll puts the One Nation Party on 23.5%, the Liberal Party in 3rd place on 19.5%, the National Party on 3%, so adding that up, and the ALP on 30%, falling back a bit. And some more polling numbers. This is probably the best one for One Nation ever. One Nation on 29%, the ALP on 32%, the Liberal National Coalition on 17%, and in a two-party preferred, One Nation versus ALP is 47 to 53, and the exact same for the Liberal National Coalition versus the ALP and two-party preferred. Very interesting stuff, and those were done by respectively Newspoll and Red Bridge. Actually, no, sorry, Red Bridge and Roy Morgan. That's my mistake. But yeah, look, take a look at this page. Opinion polling for the next Australian federal election. I love looking at it. And the graph is crazy. Just the rise of One Nation is shocking. Can't wait to see what happens at the Nepean by-election in May, as well as the Farrer by-election. I'm pretty sure they're in the same week or very similar weeks. I know a lot of people are saying that the Nightcliff by-election is something to keep an eye for. But look, I think that's very different circumstances. I think that because the Country Liberal Party in government, they're very popular. Still, I they did pretty well in that seat, considering it was a more left-leaning seat with the Greens holding it. The Greens did lose it to the Labor Party, but I don't think this is a massive surge in Labor support in the Northern Territory. I think that people are quite happy with the incumbent country Liberal Party government, one of the only Liberal Party governments. But yeah, look, it's interesting times in politics. Can't wait to see what happens next.